I've been working for Disney and I've got some stories to tell. Did you know that there's a second hidden Disneyland beneath the real one? In the early years of the park, Walt himself decided he didn't like the characters travelling through themed areas where they didn't belong. He said it broke immersion, so he had an entire complex built beneath the Magic Kingdom. It mirrored every street, every ride, every land above it. This arrangement was designed to enable masked men to sneak around so that your children never noticed, leaving you happy to foot the bill. Disney works very hard to keep its secrets. Here's another fun fact. Every cast member has to be on stage whenever they're in potential sight of park guests, even the janitors. That's where I come in. For the past 20 years, I've been cleaning up every type of mess in that park. If you ever come off the teacups and paint the ground with the clam chowder you ate at the Royal Street Veranda, I'll be there. Things go fine if you know your place, and I learnt that very quickly. The first lesson sticks out in my mind. I'd been on the job for 1 year and 7 months when a distraught-looking couple came to me and asked me where they should go to inquire about a missing child. I was in the zone immediately, leading them straight to the office on Main Street while explaining how park employees would have their daughter escorted through the underground passages directly into their waiting arms. Once found, of course. Upon arriving at the office, I opened the door and turned around to let them inside, but then they were gone. I was searching furiously for them when the head of security emerged, looking grim. I had gotten maybe 3 words out when he cut me off. Everything is fine. The parents have been reunited with their son. It was their daughter, I said. That's right, their daughter. Why don't you take some time off? A week's paid vacation would give you enough time to visit Orlando. Did you know that the park associates are entitled to complimentary park tickets and travel reimbursements? But I don't. It could be much longer than a week. I took the plane tickets and went to the beach instead. But the strangest thing to ever happen to me was just a couple of weeks ago when I was in the underground Disneyland. I was spending my break trying to forget about the poopy incident I just had to fix in Alice in Wonderland when a costumed Mickey Mouse came into the lounge and looked at me, then sat on the opposite couch with his legs crossed. Why is he still a mouse? The first thing I do upon stepping off stage is to drop my smile and ease into relaxation mode. Why wouldn't someone take the first opportunity to take off that ridiculous mouse head? I stared back and he didn't move, and it wasn't pleasant. I wondered if he was stuck in the damn thing, and I obsessively started looking for the seams in the costume, but I couldn't find any, and my stomach turned over as I realised there were no openings in the costume. I mean, what the hell? Like, was this guy so directly into the outfit? Was the illusion that good? Could my very dull imagination actually have conjured up the belief in magic? And why was he just staring at me? And then it blinked. I don't mean the man inside the costume blinked. I mean those giant mouse eyes rolled over to me, locked onto my face, and the cartoon rodent blinked its goddamn eyes. In one swoop, I turned to run into the hallway. I got a sudden burst of adrenaline-fueled energy when I heard rapid footsteps behind me. I tried to outrun the thing, but I think I made it about 300 yards before my burning lungs forced me to roll onto the ground and await my untimely demise. But he didn't kill me. Through my blurred vision and desperate gasps, I was able to make out a very man-shaped size standing above me. It was the head of security, and he looked furious. Next to him was a man who looked vaguely familiar. He was tall, pale, and dressed in a grey suit with a fedora. He did not look like he'd been running at all. "Well," said the head of security, clearly less winded than I was, "how about we send you to Europe for this vacation?" I was sent to Italy with a tour group. When I noticed that a lot of people on my tour had connections to Disney, despite the fact that we had never met before and were not part of a Disney-sanctioned tour, it seemed that we'd been gathered together for a purpose, but someone clearly didn't want us to know what that purpose might be. It was a very odd situation at best, so I did exactly what I'd been taught to do. I separated myself from the situation. That's the best way to keep things clean. I didn't show up for the day trip to Genoa, and in doing so, I stayed away from the bridge collapse a few days back that killed everybody in my tour group. I am the only one left to tell my story, and that story will end with me making it very, very clear that I won't be going back home. I think I'll be much safer living anonymously in Europe. They're hiding something big, and their greatest strength is making you believe the magic isn't real.